His dagger drew and died. For all the rest, let lion, moonshine, wall, and sweet lovers twain at large discourse, while here they do rhyme. Hello. We are Boom Productions. We're a local theatre company, and one of the things we do every year is a Shakespeare production in the studio upstairs. That was the prologue for the most lamentable comedy and most tragic death of Pyramus and Thisbe, which is performed, it's a play within a play, called Act 5 of A Midsummer Night's Dream by a group of rude mechanics at the wedding of Theseus. And we performed that in 2014 in the studio, and we did a puppet show for the play within a play. So our next piece is going to be Luke Mesgiro, and it takes place earlier in Midsummer Night's Dream, when Bottom, one of the mechanics who earlier in the play is kidnapped by the fairies and transformed to have an ass's head instead of his own. And then the Queen of the Fairies is put under a spell to fall in love with him, and general wackiness ensues. So this takes place after Bottom has been restored to normality, and when he awakes, trying to make sense of his bizarre adventures. So presenting Luke Mesgiro.
When my hero comes, call me, I will answer. My next is most fair Pyramus. I know. Peter Quince. Flute the bells, Mender. Snap the tinker. Starflame. God's my life. Stolen hence and left me sleep. I have had a most rare vision. I have had a dream. Past the wit of man to say what dream it was. Man is but an ass if he go about to expound this dream. Methought I was. There was no man who would tell what. Methought I was. And thought I had. Man is but a patched fool if he stop offer what methought I was. The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen. Man's hand is not able to taste, his tongue to deceive, knows how to report what my dream was. I shall get Peter Quince to write a ballad of this dream, and it shall be called Bottom's Dream, because it hath no bottom, and I shall sing it at the latter end of a play before the Duke. Peradventure, to make it the more gracious, I shall sing it at her death.
So as I said, we're going to share some of our favourite pieces of Shakespeare today. Some of them will be acted out, some of them will be readings, some of them might be a bit wacky and crazy with unique spins on it. So next we're going to look at some of the tragedies. And I think most people's favourite tragedy has to be the cursed Scottish play of Macbeth, in which Macbeth receives a prophecy from three witches that he will be king of Scotland one day. But he decides to hasten matters along by killing the king, Duncan, but at the last minute gets cold feet, and it's up to Lady Macbeth to rile her husband to commit the murder, as portrayed by Claire Holland.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And makes it now to look so green and pale as it did so freely? From this time, such I count thou love. Art thou afeared to be the same in thine own act and valour as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thy own esteem? I think I dare not wait upon I would like the poor cat in the adage. What peace was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more than man. No time, no place to vanity, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and at their fitness now just unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender it is to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, to pluck my nipple from its boneless gums and dash the brains out! And I as sworn as you have done to this.
Lady Macbeth manages to convince her husband to go and commit the murder, but at the last minute he's still having second thoughts, until a vision of a dagger convinces him otherwise, as played by Luke Messagero, which might be why he was in his head earlier.
Thanks, John. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeded on the heat-oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshallest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I used to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, whilst with all rest I see thee still. And on thy blade indulgent gouts of blood which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is a bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now, over the one half world nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings, and with the murder, alarmed by a sentinel, and the wolf, whose houses watch thus with a stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravaging strides towards his design, moves like a ghost. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabout, and take the present horror from the time which now suits it. Whilst I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds, true gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven. What a hell.
Many actors considered the role of Hamlet to be the greatest role they could play in their careers. And the next speech, where the young Prince of Denmark contemplates the murder of his father by his uncle, and whether to take revenge or take his own life, is simply the high point of their careers. Performed now by Callum Rhys-Williams, to be or not to be.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. To die, to sleep, no more. And by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come, when we have suffered off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, the spurs the patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fetters bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, from whose burn no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have, than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sickly there with a pale cast of thought, an enterprise of great pitch and moment. With this regard their currents turn away, and lose the name of action. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia, nymph in thy orisons, be all my sins remembered.
Away now from the pleasant topics of death, murder and regicide, because something a bit happier. We're going to hear some Shakespeare's love poetry. The sonnets, of which he wrote 154, we're not going to get them all, considered to be some of the greatest love poems ever written. So first we have Emily Rees reading perhaps the most well-known sonnet, Sonnet 18.
Shall I compare me to summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the dark buds of May, and summer's leaves have all too short day. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often his gold complexion dims, and from every fair from fair sometime declines, perchance, only just changing course and trim. By thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou is, nor shall death drag wondrously the shade, when in eternal life to time thou growth. So as long as men could breathe, and eyes can see, so long as this, and history is like to be.
And now performed Sonnet 116.
Let me note to the marriage of true minds a great impediment. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with a remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark, and looks upon tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worths are known, although his height be taken. Love's not time's proof, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error, and upon me proved, I never lived, nor no man ever loved.
We're going to go back to the tragedies again in the next two pieces, both from the same play from Romeo and Juliet, which we performed last year in the studio. Our production was set in the 1960s with the Rots and Rockers feuding. One of the most remarkable things about Shakespeare's tragedies is the way he has lighter comedic moments in them, which then make the tragic moments hit harder. So we're going to have a lighter moment first, performing Juliet's nurse, Jane Morgan Walsh.
Come Lammas Eve at night, shall she be 14. Susan and she, God rest all Christian souls, were of an age. Well, Susan is with God. She was too good for me. But as I said, on Lammas Eve at night, shall she be 14. That shall she marry, I remember it well. 'Tis since the earthquake now, 11 years, and she was weaned. I shall never forget it. Of all the days of the year, upon that day, for I had laid wormwood to my dug, sitting in the sun under the dove house wall, my lord and you were then at Mantua. Nay, I do bear a brain, but as I said, when it did taste the wormwood on the nipple of my dug, I felt it bitter. Pretty fool, to seem tetchy and fall out with the dug. Shake quoth the dove house, 'twas no need I trow, to bid me trudge. And since that time, it is 11 years, for then she could stand high low. Nay, by the rood, she could have run and waddled all about. For even the day before, she broke her brow. And then my husband, God with his soul, gay man took up with the child and quoth, Yea, dost thou fall upon thy face? Thou wilt fall backward. When thou hast more wit, wilt thou not do? And by my holiday, the pretty wretch left crying and said, Aye. To see now how a jest shall come about, I warrant, and I should live 1,000 years. I never should forget it. Wilt thou not too? Quoth he, and pretty fool, it stinted and said, Aye.
Romeo and Juliet, of course, marry in the play, but their marriage is short-lived after Romeo is banished for crime and murder. Juliet fakes her own death with the intention of Romeo coming to take her away, but unfortunately Romeo is not told the news and believes his love has actually died, so journeys to her tomb to commit suicide with her body. Performed by Steve McDermott.
How often men be at the point of death have they been buried, which their keepers call a lightning before death. Oh, how may I call this a lightning? Oh, my love, my wife, death, that have sucked the honey of thy breath, hath had no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered. Beauty's ensign is crimson in thy lips and in thy cheeks, and death's pale flag has not advanced there. Well, why art yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is amorous, and that the leader poor monster keeps thee in the dark to be his paramour? For fear of that, I will stay with thee. And never again from this palace of dim night shall I depart again. Here will I remain with worms and are thy chambermaids. Oh, here will I set up my lasting rest, and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars from this world-weary flesh. Eyes, look your last. Arms, take your last embrace. And lips, oh, you the doors of breath, seal the righteous kiss. A dateless bargain to engross you death. Come, bitter conduct, come, unsavoury guide. Thou desperate pilot, now at once run on the dashing rocks thy seasick weary bark. Thus, with a kiss I die. Here's to my love.
For our last two pieces now, we're going to look to Shakespeare's historical plays, which is how he really made his name in the early 1500s, writing about the great deeds, the kings of England, mostly focusing on the Plantagenet kings and the era leading up to and including the War of the Roses. So this next piece focuses on Shakespeare's greatest villain, who is a character who I think everyone loves to hate. Performed by Karen Rhys-Williams, Richard III.
Now is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by the sun of York, and all the clouds that lurk upon our house, in the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Now are our brows bound with victorious wreaths, our bruised arms hung up for monuments, our stern alarums changed to merry meetings. Grim-visaged war hath smoothed his wrinkled front, and now, instead of mounting barded steeds, to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chamber, to the lascivious pleasing of a lute. But I, that am not shaped for such sportive tricks, nor made to court an amorous looking-glass, I, that am rudely stabbed, and want love's majesty, to strut before a wanton ambling myth, I, that am curtailed of this fair proportion, cheated of feature by dissembling nature, deformed, unfinished, sent before my time into this breathing world, scarce half made up, and that so lamely and unfashionable, the dogs bark at me as I halt by them. Why I, in this weak, piping time of peace, have no delight to pass away the time, unless to spy my shadow in the sun, and descant on mine own deformity. And therefore, since I cannot prove a lover, to entertain these farewell spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain, and hate the idle pleasures of these days. Plots I have laid, inductions dangerous, by drunken prophecies, libels and dreams, to set my brother Clarence and the king in deadly hate, one against the other. And if King Edward be as true and just as I am subtle, false and treacherous, this day should Clarence closely be mewed up about a prophecy which says that G of Edward's heirs, the murderer shall be. Dive thoughts down to my soul. Here, Clarence comes.
That brings us on to our masterpiece now. I think whenever you watch a film where heroes are about to ride into battle against insurmountable odds, there's always a speech made by the hero to rally the troops. And Shakespeare did first, and I don't think anyone's ever done it better since. And when we were putting this piece together, I asked people what do they want to do. Our next performer said, "Do gender roles matter, John?" And I said, "No, of course not." He said, "I'm going to be Henry V." And I think her entire life has been building up to this moment. So, performing Henry V on the eve of the Battle of Agincourt, Rhiannon Taylor.
What's he that wishes so? My cousin Westmoreland, no, my fair cousin. If we are marked to die, we are enough to do our country loss, and if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honour. God's will, I pray thee, wish not one man more. By Jove, I am not covetous for gold, nor care I who doth feed upon my cost. It yearns me not if men my garments wear. Such outward things dwell not in my desires. But if it be a sin to covet honour, I am the most offending soul alive. No faith, my coz. Wish not a man from England God's peace. I would not lose so great an honour as one man more, methinks would share for me the best hope I have. Oh, do not wish one more. Rather proclaim it, Westmoreland, through my host, that he which hath no stomach for this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crowns for convoy put into his purse. We would not die in that man's company, that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that outlives this day and comes safe home will stand a tiptoe when this day is named, and rouse him at the name of Crispian. He that shall live this day and see old age will yearly on the vigil feast his neighbours and say, tomorrow is St. Crispian. Then will he strip his sleeve and show his scars, and say, these wounds I had on Crispian's day. Old men forget. Yet all shall be forgot, but he'll remember with advantages what feasts he did that day. Then shall our names, familiar in his mouth as household words, Harry the King, Bedford, Exeter, Warwick and Talbot, Salisbury and Gloucester, be in their flowing cups freshly remembered. This story shall the good man teach his son, and Crispian shall ne'er go by from this day to the ending of the world, that we in it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers, for he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother, be he ne'er so vile. This day shall gentle his condition, And gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhoods cheap, while as any speaks that fought with us upon St. Crispin's Day!
Thank you all for listening, and we hope you enjoyed. If you want to hear us perform more Shakespeare, tickets are on their production of The Tempest on sale in the box office. It's on the 10th to the 13th of August, so yeah, it'd be great to see as many of you there as possible. So if we can have another appreciation for our players.